Okay, so for final projects, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be laying out a full magazine spread. So when we think about like the very beginning of the semester, when we talked about what was it, our columns and master pages. Again, going back to the original first assignments that we did. So we're going to be taking, hopefully, everything that we've learned so far over the semester and then creating a magazine spread. And we're going to be working a little bit with basic interactivity as well, which I have demos on, and packaging. So when we export these, some of you guys have done it already, but when you export these for print, you do what's called packaging in InDesign. Basically what that does is it makes a package. It makes a nice little handy package that has your print files and any media that you've used. So what it does is it collects all the images, all the fonts, things like that, and it creates a folder with your a PDF, your InDesign file, a folder with fonts in it, and a folder with images used. So that way you don't forget to give them, because it's happened a bazillion times where a client will give you an Illustrator file or an InDesign file that's full of images, and then they just give you the file and don't give you the image files, and that's useless because when you open it, it says stuff is missing and you can't print it. So what that does, packaging allows you to create this, again, this like handy deliverable with all materials in it for output. The only extra thing that we're going to have to do is, unfortunately, unless they've changed it, unfortunately, I don't think you can package within a package. You can't have a PDF be an interactive PDF, so you have to export. You'll just have to do an extra export and just export it for an interactive PDF, which I've showed you in the demo, but I can also show you when we get closer there too. So at the end, you'll have your final package, and then you'll have an extra interactive PDF, which is basically what we're going to be doing is adding some navigation buttons to be able to drive you from page to page within the PDF, and some live links that will take you to the various locations, which I go over in the basic interactivity demo. So what we're going to be doing, again, magazine spread. So this will be a theoretical article. We're going to be designing an article for Rolling Stone magazine about the veteran rock band Clutch. Basically what I do for my classes is I force you to look at stuff that I like and hopefully turn you into fans. So what we're going to be doing, our editor, me, has requested that you design 6 facing pages showcasing the history of the band and the various images. So basically what that means is, instead of what we did with the master pages, you're going to start on technically page 2, so you're going to have the pair. So you don't want to have that one orphan page. You want to make sure that you have your article start is going to be on the left. So you're going to have 6 facing pages. And I have all of your document specifics here. So you have the publication date, much like our master page assignment. So we have our publication date here, and then we can change that to a 19, that's fine. I know it says 2018. So if you feel like changing, you totally can. If you backdate it, that's fine as well. Publication will print in CMYK. Page sizes we have, margins. You guys all know how to set this up by now. And then the start page is going to be 32. And then column structure. The column structure for this is going to be 3 columns with 1/8-inch gutters. That being said, again, going back to our column assignments, when we were looking at publications, the general structure is going to be that 3 column. If you guys choose to do your guides with more, 6 or 9, just make sure you do multiples of 3. It tends to work easier. But if you want to break those column structures, you're certainly allowed to do that. If you want to create like a more dynamic layout with some of the images, you're allowed to do that. But the basic column structure is going to be 3. So right there, you may work with more columns. However, they must be multiple of 3. I'm not going to read this word for word. There's just a little a blurb to give you the idea, kind of like we did with the BMW thing, to give you an idea about them. Definitely check some of their links out. And then some assignment specifics. You must have at least 4 photographs in the spread. You may use more. Depending on how you use the photographs, 4 photographs can actually be a lot of visual in just a 6-page article. And again, do some research, look at other music publications, look at other publications that you like, see how they're laid out. All photos, again, should be used without distortion. paying attention to avoiding vertical and horizontal unproportional stretch. You may crop these photos, unlike the BMW, well, you can still crop the BMW ones, but we're technically selling a product, but if you feel like there's a stage shot or something and you don't want all the extra staging, you can focus on one element. But again, make sure that you're not stretching or squishing the photos, keep them proportional. You must use the copy in its entirety. The layout of the copy, how the text flows from column to column or frame to frame is entirely up to you, but you have to use all of the copy. It must be at least 12 point, and I say at least, so if you wanted to do like pull quotes, which we talked about before, or if you want to do like take some of the text and make some of it more graphic, or take a paragraph and make it more bold and separate it a little bit, you can totally do that, but it has to be at least 12 point font. Your spread must contain a headline, which you're going to come up with. Photo captions, you can just do like a dummy you don't have to have a real caption for everything. So you can just have this be your caption, and this can be small, 9 or 10 point, depending on what the font you use. You might even be able to get away with like 8 point. But basically, just around the picture somewhere, you have this is a dummy caption. You don't usually credit the photographer, but you could just copy and paste this caption. Page number and magazine title, again, like our previous assignments that we've done. All pages must include a next and previous navigation button, which I show in the demo, but that's basically for the interactive PDF, so you can navigate through it. And you can also export a regular PDF if you choose to that doesn't have all the extras in it. The spread must contain at least 3 bookmarks. Magazine titles must include a hyperlink to Rolling Stone, so that can be one of your links. The bookmarks, again, I go over the interactivity. Bookmarks are basically, I find that they're a little bit more useful for like a catalog or something like that. Like if you have like a giant, 80-page catalog, let's say like Ella Bean catalog or something like that, you would have a bookmark. So when you open up a PDF like this, oops, let's see if it's. Trying to look from far away. Where are my bookmarks? No. I think that since there's no bookmarks in here, it's not showing us bookmarks. But basically, they'll show up here, and basically it's just like little navigation buttons that you can kind of navigate through. So like, let's say you had a giant catalog from Ella Bean, and you want to look at boots. You could look. It's almost like a table of contents. So like here, you would see like the different categories: jackets, sweaters, pants, and then boots. And then you click boots, and it automatically brings you to page 68 or whatever. In a 6-page spread, bookmarks kind of make a little bit less sense, but I want you to put them in there just so you know how to do it, so you can functionally create a bookmark. They're pretty easy to do. You basically just select it, and then it's a drop down to create a bookmark. Again, I go over it in the interactivity demo. What else? So we're going to package our layout, last name, final, kind of like we've been doing for all of our assignments. There's a folder in our server to submit these, just like all the other assignments. So we're going to have the package, like I said, the package, and then you're also going to have to export an interactive PDF, and so you can call it something different. Or if you don't put it in your package folder, that's totally fine. So you can have the package folder and then your interactive PDF outside that folder, so you don't accidentally save over the other PDF. And then there's some grading criteria, kind of like I do for most of my other assignments, but like use of photos, size to create a compelling visual, placed without cropping, distortion, etc. Use of typography, headline, body copy, captions styled to be designed while also promoting readability. Same thing with like our postcards. You want to make sure they're readable, but they also look cool. Use of columns, page elements from photos to typography. Abide by the column structure in a creative way. And then the overall design, basically that your spreads are well organized and create like a thoughtful design, like you put some real time and effort into these. Do you have any questions?
So, and when you said it's like start on page 3237, how many pages this is in total? Or is it just 6 pages that we're making?
6 pages.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I think that might be off.
Yeah, because it's like 3237. I was like, wait, like a whole magazine or just
It's just like a piece of a magazine.
Oh,
so
so it's gonna be 6 pages. Okay.
correct. It's going to be 6 total pages, but your numbers are going to start at 32. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So instead of having because if you just open it and start it, it'll start on page 2.
Oh yeah.
So that's just in that page numbering option. When you open up your document, you can set the page numbering.
Oh, that's really cool.
So once you just set the 32, it'll automatically number the rest of them. So I'll quickly show you some materials. So we have in our folder, our final project folders here. With all of our assignments, we have the final project, the description, the submissions, which obviously there's nothing in right now, and then all of our materials. So you have the copy, which I have open here, and you can place this, which we've worked with before. Once you set up, you can thumbnail, but once you set up kind of how you want your text frames to flow, give or take, you can just place this instead of opening and copying and pasting. You're going to place your text into the document, which we've worked with before. And then you can either just place it into one frame and then manually have the text flow from frame to frame, or since it will automatically have overflow, if you hold Shift, you can click into multiple frames and it'll fill that. It'll fill those frames. You definitely need to place instead of copy and paste just to make sure that you're getting all the text. So you're not dropping any text. But again, if you choose to read through this, you totally can. Just showing you the copy. It's not a ton of copy, so there's plenty of room to mess around with laying out the copy, and then a ton of images to choose from. I won't go through like every single one, but we have album cover stuff. Say just released an album, in the mixing room, etc., etc. Some promo shots, live shots. And then again, not to force you to look at my cool stuff, but you can and then just separate logos. And then I kind of tried to give a couple images of each guy if you choose to kind of do that. And I would definitely check out, just to sort of get, kind of like we did with BMW, check out some of their stuff. I can put a link to their website as well. Their website's super clean. Like they're really kind of more, I don't know. If you search them, you do need to search like Clutch band, because you just search Clutch, you're going to get like car parts and stuff. But you'll see they've been around for almost 30 years. Like there's tons and tons and tons. So you can just check their wiki for some basic stuff.
Those are one-word bands. You always have to put band after.
Yeah, because it's like you're going to find like all sorts of, yeah. You're going to be like, wait, what? Get all sorts of like shovels or something.
Yeah.
Or like a whatever. But so you can see, like, you'll have a ton of information bands are related to, etc. They just announced that they're playing with Dropkick Murphys, which is, I think, really weird, but because they're very not alike, but they'll kind of play with anybody. That's one thing that they've never shied away from.
Are they playing with Dropkick Murphys? Like,
they just announced it, yeah. So they're doing, yeah. I think I forget when it starts, but fall. Their fall 2019 tour is like, yeah, Dropkick Murphys and Hatebreed, which Hatebreed makes sense, but. But then I've seen them open for all sorts of crazy bands. They've opened for a bunch of weird bands. But anyway, then I have also like their discography. If you want to check out some of their graphic design that they've chosen, you can see they have a really wide variety of imagery. Again, just so you can get sort of a feel for what, like, this is some earlier stuff. So you get a feel for their design and their aesthetics, things like that. But yeah, I'll post links and things like that to their website as well, so you can check it out. And if you want to give it a listen, if you want to do some further research to sort of get an idea for how they are.